ready to explore the tool even further. Just to confirm if I am audible now, Tapera, just confirm that it is better, but can you all hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, it's better, Ivy.
Very well.
Okay.
Very well.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So, yeah, perfect. Thank you. So I am just going to start off by sharing my presentation. There are two parts to this session. I am just going to do a very brief intro of the session where I emphasize or I highlight some of the features of EndNote that you can use to create your libraries on EndNote and some of the features that you can use to manage your references. So I have put this on a PowerPoint. So if you need to go to the PowerPoint, Tabella will share it with you later. And then the second part of the session, after the presentation, we will actually go into the platform and we will start exploring the features that I would have shared. So with creating reference collections, what we are referring to is the process of just saving your references on EndNote. So we tend to refer to this as creating reference collections because one of the features of EndNote, like all the other reference managers really, is that you can organize your references. So collections are groups or folders that you can create on EndNote just as a way of knowing where to find your references when you are using them as you write. Now, one of the easiest and I think one of the convenient ways of creating reference collections is exporting from other sources like the mini library databases that we have. So you will see during the live session that it is possible to already export articles as you find them on the library databases into EndNote. So you start building your reference collections from these databases as you are searching for literature. So there is the first point. And these databases allow you to actually create RIS files or EndNote files that you can later import into EndNote. So something to look out for when you are using the library databases. And below the exporting from other sources, I have given you a link to the LibGuide that we have created. This LibGuide also gives you instructions on or guides on how you can export from other databases like Science Direct, EBSCOhost, Scopus, UGoogle, and so forth. So we will go into that later. EndNote comes with an extension that is called EndNote Click. So EndNote Click allows you to actually export PDFs into EndNote from mostly from Google Scholar or from some publisher websites. So you can export your PDFs directly into EndNote, or you can also push the metadata into your EndNote account as well. So the information about the reference that you use or the PDF, you can get that into EndNote. So that is what EndNote Click does. And I have hyperlinked the phrase EndNote Click extension, so you can later go to the URL and download the EndNote Click extension, as it is quite helpful. You can also create your reference collections by using the EndNote import link that is on Google Scholar. We will touch on that as we go ahead with our session. And lastly, for references or sources that are not available online. Maybe you have used a book that you have found in one of our library collections that are on site. You can then do what we call a manual entry. So those are the main ways that you can create your reference collections on EndNote. So I was emphasizing that when searching on databases like Science Direct or EBSCOhost, you can actually export the information about the reference that you are using and the PDF into EndNote. So this is an example of what you will get. So the screen to the left, this isn't a screenshot from EndNote from Science Direct. So when on Science Direct, there's always a link that says export. So when clicking on this link, you will then get this option that says export citation to RIS. So this means that the information about the source will be saved as an RIS file, which you can later get into EndNote. So many databases have this export button. So please be on the lookout for these export buttons when using many of the library databases that we have, so that you can get the references into your EndNote account. So this is to the right. This is an example from the UJ database, library database that we call, or search platform that we call UJoogle. So the option is at the bottom of the screen, but it's expressed as export as, but it does the same. So when you click on the export as button, whilst on Google Scholar, you will be able to generate an RIS file, which you can later import into EndNote. So these export links are quite useful. Be on the lookout for them as you are using the many library databases, because you can immediately create your reference collections on EndNote using these. Now, earlier on, I spoke about an extension that is called EndNote Click. So once it's something that you download, we will go through the process of how you download it. But once you download the EndNote Click extension, it stays on your extension area. So this is where it is on my machine. And when it's active, or when it finds PDFs that can be automatically sent to EndNote, it will show you the number of PDFs that you can immediately export into EndNote. So in this case, it is 8. So it works very well with Google Scholar, as you can see in the background. So what happened was I started my search on Google Scholar, and as soon as I got the results list, the EndNote Click extension became active, meaning that I was able to see the total number of references or of sources that I was looking at on that page that I can immediately store on EndNote. So to do that, when you click on the number 8 over there, it opens this menu here at the bottom. Can you mute the person that's speaking? Thank you. So when you click, thank you. So when you click on the EndNote Click extension at the top, it opens this menu. From there, you can select the articles that you want to export into EndNote using the menu that is over here. So this option allows you to download. So EndNote Click also links with the library subscriptions that we have. So if what you are looking at on Google Scholar is not freely available, as it is often the case, you can access it through EndNote Click, because EndNote Click gives you information or access to PDFs that are available through our library subscriptions. And these are articles that you would otherwise not be able to access. So that is the added benefit of using EndNote Click. It does not only allow you to save the information on EndNote, but it also allows you to actually discover PDFs that you would not have been able to discover directly from Google Scholar. And the reason we are not able to discover articles from Google Scholar, the PDFs, is often because not everything is freely available from Google Scholar. So EndNote Click solves that problem. So you would see that where I am, where my cursor is, it tells us that it has found one PDF, and it has actually found the first 3 PDFs. So using this icon here, you will be able to download the article. Using this icon here, you will be able to read the PDF. So you first click on the checkbox and you use the menu here to read, to download, to export the RIS file so you can later get it into EndNote, or to directly get the information into EndNote, to save this information into EndNote so you can later use it in your writing and to create a bibliography. So that is the benefit of using EndNote Click, and that is how we can use EndNote Click to build our reference collections. We can also use a feature that is available from Google Scholar. This feature allows us to make the import into EndNote links available from Google Scholar. So if this feature is not enabled, you will not be able to see this link that says import into EndNote. I'm sure if many of you go to your Google Scholar now, you might not have this link that says import into EndNote. So you go to settings to activate it, and we will cover that shortly. And once you have this here, then this means that if this is an article that I am happy with and that I want to integrate into my thesis or dissertation, I can actually click on this link so that that says import into EndNote, so that the information about this reference is it's saved into EndNote. So the import into EndNote link allows us to actually start building our reference collections as well. Now, another part of today's talk is also on how do we actually manage the references. So this speaks to, now that you have saved, or you have started building your reference collections on EndNote using the various methods that I have demonstrated. How do you then categorize your large libraries into smaller groups, perhaps, that are manageable? So managing references essentially just means to keeping your library updated. It could speak to the big thing that I wanted to talk about is how do you organize your references so that you know which references to use when you are at a specific stage of your writing. So for example, you might want to categorize your references according to chapters. You might want to categorize your references according to the different topics, maybe within your literature review and so forth. So this is just the process of managing references. Essentially talks to creating some order on EndNote so that you get to the references that you would like to use with less, with no difficulty at all. So you can manage your references by creating groups. So groups, if you were if you are a current or if you were a previous RefWorks user, RefWorks referred to groups as folders. So groups just speaks to creating different folders on EndNote. And on Mendeley, these groups are called collections. So it's just a different a way of categorizing your references. And as highlighted on the slide, you can organize them by, your project, the paper that you're writing at that time, or just simply your topic, or the different keywords as you have them in your research topic. So the advantage of using groups is that it helps you to break your large reference collections into subcategories or subgroups that are, or subfolders that are manageable. You can also create a tag. So meaning adding some color coding your references. So, if you choose yellow, this means this aspect of your research. If you use the color green, that means that aspect of your research. So, and we will talk to that shortly as we go into EndNote, so we can see how all these features or all these functions that I touched on, how you can actually get to do this on EndNote. So I would now like to go over to the next session. Are there any questions? Is there anything that I need to clarify before I carry on? Tato?
Good morning, colleagues. Perhaps I missed the info about the EndNote click. How do we add that? Because I heard you speaking about it and that it makes it easy to upload PDFs. Yeah, so I just wanted to know, how do I do? Is it on EndNote where I can click somewhere and add it, or do I have to download it? Yeah, that's the question. Thank you.
All right. So maybe as a way to start the second part of the session, we can just start off with EndNote click then. Let me just check if there aren't any other. Okay, Tato, we will get to that EndNote click part once I have addressed all the questions. Can we then take a question from, I don't know who's this person in. Okay, Mafulela Tulani.
Good morning, colleagues. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm trying to use EndNote to organize my material. I somewhat already sorted out all my sources on Google Cloud. So now, and it's, say, for example, on a bit of an Excel spreadsheet. What I wanted to find out is, do I still need to do the inputting 1-1, or there's a bit of a mechanism to do an automate where I can organize all my stuff on a spreadsheet and then just populate EndNote at one go at least? Is there a pathway to go about it that way, or it has to be manual 1-1?
There is a way to do that, but you will need to have the PDFs, because then EndNote can read the metadata from the PDFs. So if you import the different folder with all your PDFs, right? As those PDFs are saved on EndNote, the PDFs will also be saved with information on the author, the type of publication, the source, volume number, issue number, if it's a journal, and so forth, because EndNote can read the PDFs and extract that information to create your reference library. So you will need to import the PDFs, and I will cover that in the next part.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mapula?
Okay, thank you. Good morning, colleagues. I would like to I also heard you mentioning the settings under the Google Scholar. how to import into EndNote. Are
Okay.
you also going to cover that as well, so that at
Yes.
least we know how to
Yes.
go about doing that? Thanks.
Yes, I'm going to do that. All right.
Sure, thanks.
You're welcome. All right. We do not seem to have any other hands that are raised, and there are no questions on the chat. So I am just going to go into the next part then. And as Mapula, was it Mapula? No, it was someone else. I'm sorry, I forgot your name already. You wanted to know how to go about getting the EndNote Click extension. So you go to clickendnote.com, right? And then you click on this link that says add to Chrome. Well, I am on Chrome, so it's detecting that I am on Chrome. So if you open the website with Edge, or what is the other one, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, it will prompt you to add to that specific browser. So it's prompting me to add to Chrome. So I did that already. So to know that it's successful, it depends on the edition was successful. It depends on the settings. So for me, I pinned it to the plugins area, but to do that on Chrome, I clicked on this icon that looks like a puzzle, and then I clicked on the pin to pin it. So that is how you do it, so that it appears there and you can see. It's best to pin it to the plug-in or extensions area, so that you can see when it discovers PDFs on EndNote. So on via Google Scholar. So if we are on Google Scholar, let's go to Google Scholar now. Let me open another. Okay, so the URL, let me just get that to, let me get that onto the chat. Sorry, I've lost here. So I have put the URL on the chat. Now I'm going back to Google. I'm going to go back. I want to go to Google Scholar. So we have enabled the extension now. Now we go to Google Scholar.
Sorry, Ivy.
Yes.
The echo has returned. I don't know if maybe you moved a bit. I'm saying your mic, it seems like it has some echo.
And now? How is it now, Tapela?
It's better now.
Oh, thank you. I don't know what's happening today. Okay. So when you do your search on Google Scholar, like I have now, you can see that the EndNote Click now, it has this number that says 8. So this is how EndNote Click communicates. So this is how it gives us notifications. So you must be on the lookout for that every time. So whenever there is a number there, it means that out of the results that are on the screen now, 8 of them can be actually be exported into EndNote. And if I go into EndNote Click, you just click on the icon. It's slow, it's not opening. There we go. So you can get some further detail about what EndNote Click has discovered. So for example, you can see that a PDF for this one article has been found, a publisher PDF has been found for the second one, and so forth. And you can even see how these articles are cited. So it is important also, just like you would get that information on Google Scholar, it is important to also maybe start making use of this option, because you will also discover more PDFs for these articles that cited this first one that we are looking at. So it is just one way of doing this. And you will see that this third one, it says that it is in my locker. So EndNote Click allows you to save articles temporarily on in the locker. So it's like a storage space within the extension. It's called the locker. So if you put an item in the locker, it will stay in the locker or in that shelf until you remove it or until you decide to take it to EndNote. So let's look at the menu at the top. So if I select that one, I can actually view the PDF, right? Using EndNote Click. I can download the PDF from here. I can also export the PDF and reference as an RIS file, meaning I can prepare the information in a format which is RIS format, so that I can later save it into EndNote, or I can already push this reference to the EndNote account, right? But if you click on the title, any title, this is what happens. The article actually opens in this locker that I was talking about, right? So it is going to be displayed here. It's still opening, and if I like, I can save it to my locker. So saving it to my locker, it's more like temporarily saving it here, and I can later push it to EndNote, right? The other options that are available through the locker, so it's struggling to open the PDF. You can share the PDF, you can export to EndNote, you can push to EndNote Web. This is the online version of EndNote. You can visit the journal page if you would like. You can get the citation. So these are the options. And if you want to save to the locker, you can do it from there, right? So it is not opening. So let me go back and try another one. My network is a bit slow this morning. I'll close it here. Okay, let's try again. There we go. Let's try this one. Okay, so that one worked. So you can actually read the PDF from there, but because it has opened, you can actually now see that the link to download is active. You can share the PDF. Sharing the PDF just means share with someone via email. So this must be someone that, because it shares through EndNote Click. So it must be, you share this way with someone who has EndNote Click as well, so they can open the URL from EndNote Click. You can include a personalized message if you would like. You can export to the EndNote desktop. So if you click on export, what happened was that the file that we can later use to import into EndNote is already saved there in my downloads, higher education assessment. So it is there already. So it is prepared in the background already, and we will get into how do we get it into EndNote shortly. You can also push to EndNote web from here. So this is already saved in the locker because I opened it in the locker. So if you want to see everything that is in your locker, if you want to see everything that is in your locker, I clicked on that link that says my locker. And I can see the recent items that I have saved, which is, or I have added, which is this one that we were just looking at now, higher education practice in the area of generative AI. But then I have other items that I have added 20 days ago. So you can click on the specific items to view them, and you can also export to EndNote from here if you would like. So to go back to the locker, you go there, and you can proceed with your locker like that. So if you want to remove something from the locker, you just you can click on the X icon at the bottom to delete it. So remove. So there's the X icon over there. There's the X icon over there. There's the X icon over there. You click on the X icon to remove. So it's important that you clean your locker regularly because there's just limited space on the locker. Just so you always have space. You are also able to generate to copy the citation by clicking on this icon that says when you have when you click on it, it gives you this link, click to copy, and it says citation copied to clipboard. So you can also copy the citation from here, but we are going to be focusing on how you can do citations from EndNote, right? So that is that about the locker. So all of this started from EndNote, but I think with what we were looking at today, which is building collections, the most important thing that I wanted to share with you was so from Google Scholar, as you discover your articles, click on the icon. Then from there, you can actually select the items. You can select more than one that you want to send to EndNote. And then the simplest way of doing this is push selected references to the EndNote account. So when you click on that, it wants you to sign in. So you need to create an account. If you have not created an account, you register over this link to make use of this feature. So I am going to do mine quickly and sign in. Sorry. So now, because I have signed in, it says push to EndNote, it's pushing, and then it says 3 references have been successfully uploaded to EndNote Online. And remember, you can sync between EndNote Online and the desktop application. So before I go into the desktop app, let's go into the desktop application now, which is what I have now, right? So the first thing that I will need to do is just sync because I have pushed items to the EndNote online, and this is the EndNote desktop application named Think Now, so that I get that information from the web version of EndNote. Okay, so you can see that my references here says 17. I think initially I had 11. That was because I pushed the other references here as well, right? So if we go back to EndNote, I think we pushed these three: generative AI and automating of academia, higher education, and generative artificial intelligence. So let's go there. I'm on all references. I'm just trying to, it's this one. That's the one that we just pushed now: higher education, assessment in the practice, generative AI, and the automating of academia. And there was this other one, generative university student awareness. This is this one, university student awareness. These are the ones, the three that I just pushed now. So that is how it works. They are already on EndNote. So if you want to verify that all the information that you need, that you will need later for your in-text citation and for your referencing is captured, you can go into the reference. So you double click on the reference, it opens a pane to the left, to the right. So from there, you can go, you get a summary where you see the authors, the title, the DOI, and the URL, but you can actually click on edit to verify that, yes, this is a journal article. Yes, these are the authors. If an author is missing, you can then insert the other author. But in this case, all the authors are there. If something is wrong with the title, you can, for example, the A here will need to be lowercase and academia will also need to be lowercase. So you can fix it there. Post digital science and education 2023. Maybe we need to take out the 2023 there and actually have only 2023 there, so you can fix things that were not done properly. You see that we don't have the volume number. So if it's volume number 12, you will have to go back to the source and check. And issue number 10, you can indicate that there. And we will, I think most importantly, also need to fix the DOI. So HTTPS, that is how the DOI is expressed. Then you click on save. Then our changes are captured there. So if you go back to summary and you actually lift this bolded bar up a bit, you will get to see how this is going to be displayed in your bibliography. So according to the annotated style for referencing, that is how it's going to look. If you use APA, you can actually change to APA from there, and you can see how it's going to look in your bibliography. Then if something is not in place, you can go back to edit and edit it from there. So that is also a part of managing your collections. It's just making sure that everything that you need in your references is included, because if something is missing, that will have a negative impact on the quality of your in-text citations and the quality of your definitely your bibliography as well. So that is that on editing the citation. So we initially looked at using EndNote click, right? That's one. So let's then go to using enabling the import to EndNote link, this one from Google Scholar. right? So how you do this, you go to the 3 lines to the left. So this is the menu of Google Scholar. So when you click on the 3 lines, you actually get these options, and you need to go to the settings option right at the bottom. So yours is currently on don't show any citation to import links. So if I select that one, you can see that import to EndNote link is gone. So probably most of your Google Scholar accounts are set to this option, not to show the import link to EndNote. So let's do that again. You go to the menu, the 3 lines to the left, settings. Then you go to bibliography manager. And then you click on this option that says show links to import citations into, then you make the selection EndNote. Show links to import citations into, drop down menu, you select EndNote. Then right at the bottom, there's this blue button that says save. So that is it there. We have the import into EndNote. So if you want to import, let's go to the next page, because I think I have some of these already. So if you want to import this one, you click on import into EndNote. So you can only do one at a time. Import into EndNote. What happened was an EndNote file is already prepared in the background. It is in my downloads. So the file goes to your downloads. So this is my downloads area, right? So now, because the EndNote file is prepared, it could have been an EndNote file, it could have been an RIS file. So to get that into EndNote, you go back to EndNote, you click on File, Import. Then because it's a file, it's called an EndNote file. It could have been an RIS file. You click on Import. Then you click on this button that says Choose to locate that file. So choose. It was saved in my downloads. So it is this first one that says Scholar that we just did now. Select it and then click on Open. Then you click on Import. So if you go to Imported References, let's just check which one it was. It was Designing Experiential Learning Activities. It will not import it. Let's do that again. Sorry, import file. We find the location. That one, open, import. So there is the article, and then it is imported there with the PDF. Again, if something is wrong, you can fix it by using the edit function. So we are most likely going to fix the DOI. If the DOI is included, if it's not included, you can find it on the actual PDF and include it yourself. Make sure that all the volume number and the issue number are indicated. Make sure that it is set on reference type, the correct reference type. So if it's not a journal article, if it's a book chapter, for example, if you click on the drop down arrow by reference type, you can actually make the right selection over there, but it is a journal article. When you are done, you click on save. So that is how we get articles onto EndNote using the import using the EndNote link from Google Scholar, right? So then let's look at how do you get PDFs, like we had a question earlier. So typically your PDFs should be saved in folders somewhere. So I just need to delete all of this so that we have a clean and we are not confused. So you can actually delete by items by just selecting them. So I'm just going to delete the whole library. And you go to move reference to trash. So, and I can also go and empty the trash like that, right? You could have just selected the 2 or the 3 or the 5 that you wanted to delete and click on move to trash. So that is another way of managing your collections by just getting rid of what you do not need. So let's get PDFs into EndNote that we have saved somewhere and see how EndNote helps us with getting the information about those PDFs. So we use the file menu at the top, file, and then we do an import. This time around, it's not an EndNote file, it's not an RIS file. We are importing a folder that is currently saved in my documents. So import folder, then you choose the location. So that is the folder, it is in my documents, and that is the name of the folder. Now that I have selected the folder, I can click on OK and then import. So it is importing the folder. So how long it takes also depends on the number of references that you have on your folder. So the bigger the folder, the longer it will take for EndNote to import the PDFs. But I think that it's going to be finished shortly. It is not that much of a big file. Yeah. So here are our PDFs with attachments. So how do you know that the attachments are there? There is this paper clips to we have these paper clips to the left. So this means that those PDFs or the information is imported with the PDFs. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 do not have years, as you can see, and do not have authors, because these are actually Word documents. They are not really, and the first one is a PDF, which does not have a DOI. So this is why EndNote is not able to give us more information, because it uses the DOIs to populate the author fields, the year, the journal, and so forth. So in instances where it's a journal article, then you will have to provide the authors yourself, the year, fix the title by getting rid of that, so that it reads properly in your bibliography, the journal, the volume number, and you save when you are done, right? But the others are done correctly. You can see the authors, the year, the title of the articles, the names of the journals, and also to the right, we get information on the reference type. So most of them are journal articles, and we have one conference paper. So that is how EndNote does it for you. So let's do one last example from UJoogle. So UJoogle is a popular or a very useful search engine. I need to get rid of this. It's on my way. Sorry. Sorry, I'll share the screen again just now. So we are going into the library's website, And from there, I'm going to go into UJoogle. So you can actually access UJoogle from here, from the landing page of the library. So what is nice about UJoogle is that it searches across multiple databases. So initially you would go into Science Direct, you would go into EBSCOhost, you would go into Science Direct and find what you need. If you don't find enough articles, you will move on to the other one and so forth. So UJoogle works like Google Scholar because it searches across several databases at once. So if you do your search, narrative AI tools, let's search for something else. Let's search for the use of, you might be looking at the use of robotics in STEM education. So you do your search. And then we get our results. In this case, it is quite a lot, 7,595, but that is because our search was a bit broad, but also it searches across a couple of sources, like I said. So the content type, what we have found is information from newsletters, from newspaper articles, from journal articles, from conference proceedings, books. It goes on and on and on. So you can select what is of interest to you, thesis and dissertations. So in this case, we can limit to journal articles, for example. So that number is going to be significantly reduced. So if we go a bit up, you will see that now we have 953 results, but you can even limit the search further to scholarly or peer-reviewed articles, for example. So that is how you work your way down on Google Scholar. But the advantage is that you really get to see articles from multiple platforms. So what I wanted to emphasize though is how do you get this information into EndNote? So you go to the source that you are interested in. So this is a journal paper. So then you go to this quotation marks. When you hover over them, you can see that it says cite this item. Then it opens up on the screen. We will then need to go down a bit and then you click on this link that says export as, right? Export as. So we want to export to. Now on UJoogle, you can already do a direct export to EndNote. We don't have to do an RIS file and then later get it into EndNote. So we go to EndNote because that's what we want this to go. Okay. So then there it prepared the export the file. Mapungwana, can you please mute?
I'm on it. Ivy, you are muted as well.
Sorry, I was trying to mute someone else. So we prepared an RIS file that is saved in my downloads. So from there, from UJoogle, from there we go to file, import file, find the location, is that one, and then open, and then import. It was on STEM education, so it will be saved under imported references. And I just need to go back to it to see what was the title, Edu Rover. So let's go back here. Let's look under recently added. What happened to it? Okay, let's try that again. File, import, file, choose, open, import. I am not sure why I am not picking it up, but I must say that my network has been a bit of a challenge this morning, so that might be the issue. But otherwise, the reference would be imported. Then you can click on it to edit it or to view the summary. Most importantly, from the summary pane, you can also see what the source, the reference would look like in your bibliography. You just need to remember to lift this bar, bolded bar up, because it is right at the bottom by default. So you will just need to open it up a bit so you can have this view. I just would like to ask if there are any questions at this stage, and then we will just do the last part where you organize these references into groups, and you can use tags also to categorize them according to different labels. Okay, so I am just quickly going to carry on then to, now that we have created, or we have created this collection of references on EndNote, how do we get to, how do we organize it? So you might want to take the first 4 articles or 5 and put them in a collection. So maybe this speaks to artificial intelligence and higher education, for example. So you select what you would like to put into a specific category, right? Then you right click, and then you click on this link that says add references to. Now we want to create a group. So we do not have groups yet. So we click on the link that says create custom group. Now the custom group is already created with, to the left, with 5 references in. So we can rename this group so it reflects this category of our references. So if you double click on the name new group, you can then call it generative AI tools and higher education, for example. That's that. Right? So what first group created, and it has 5 references in. Then we can go again to our other references. Then we can create a group for the next 3. Again, you select the number that you want. Sorry. Right click, add references to, so you can add to the same group if there is a need for you to do that, or you can create another custom group. Then the custom group is created to the left. You need to name it accordingly. Double click there, and then you can name this robotics in STEM education, for example. So if you do not want to use these groups anymore, maybe you are done with writing that paper, or if for some reason you are no longer in need of these references, you can delete the group. Or you can add others and rename the group. You can always rename the group. You can always delete the group. You just select, right click, and you can rename or delete, right? So that is how we create groups. That is how we categorize our references. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is how you can tag your articles or your references. So tagging them just means using color coding them. So, you know, if you see yellow, this means it speaks to a certain aspect of your research. If you see red, it speaks to a certain aspect. So it's for easy identification as you are navigating within EndNote. So you can tag from groups, you can tag from all references. It does not matter where you do it. And please note that you can have, you will have references listed in all references. All references just represents what you have in totality, but then groups is just the number that you have decided to categorize out of the total number. So you will, what is in your groups will also be in all references. So you can create your text from here. So if you are creating a tag that is already in a group, the tag will be reflected as such. So to create a tag, you just need to select the article or a number of articles, and then you go to manage tags. So sorry. And then you go to, you can name it, maybe postgraduate, graduate students and AI tools. And then you create the tag, and then you can make it yellow or blue or gray, whatever color. So if it's blue, and then okay, you click on create tag, and then you click on there it is added, and then okay. So you can see that this one, it already has this blue tag in. So you can add as many articles as you would like to the new tag, and you can see that it shows that we have one article that is tagged in blue. So that is it there, right? So you can rename it over there as well and say postgraduate students and AI, just as an example. That is the tag. That is how we use tags. So if we go to another one, maybe we can do it again from all references, and you want to add another one, it can be that one. You click here. Sorry, we go to manage tags again. Then you can add to this one, and then okay. So that one is added to both of them now are categorized under this tag. So you can keep on adding. Then to create another tag, you right click, you go to manage tags. Now, if you want to create a different one, you go create tag. It can be an orange one, create tag. You just need to give it a name. It can be robotics and STEM education. And then, sorry, I already said it's orange, create tag. Sorry. So it's okay. So there it is, right? Then you can name it something else over there. You can name it, rename it, robotics. And education. Now we have one. You can go back to either this folder. You can add another one there. Manage text. We select that one. Then we add, there it is added. So that is how, so you can see that now your articles will kind of stand out. So you can use it to highlight maybe the most important articles or that you want to highlight, or the articles that you know that address some of the core issues that you want to address with your, like your key readings. You can take them like this, and this helps with easy identification. So that is just the one way of managing your reference collections, by just using tags as well. So that is all that I wanted to share with you today. I am happy to take questions if you have any. You can raise your hand, or you can write your questions in the chat. Conlan? Conlan?
Hello,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you for the excellent presentation.
You're welcome.
I was thinking, though the time is short, but if there is time, next time we can look into the in-text citation.
Yes, we actually have.
RefWorks.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I know there was a time we went through RefWorks, and inside citation, some of us were having problems in terms of when you have some number of references in a particular, what we call it, text, where you have to reference a number of authors. So I'm thinking that if next time, maybe, I don't know, there will be another time for in-text citation to demonstrate it, so that we can be able to use that.
Yes, so for this time around, we have actually categorized our sessions into different topics. We first looked at how to migrate from RefWorks and Mendeley. Now we are looking at how to build collection, and then the next cycle will be looking at how do you actually cite and create bibliographies.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I do not see any other hands, so that will be it. Then please do reach out to us should you struggle with anything at all. Thank you so much for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.